All right, we're back, Truth Seeker. One of the big headlines today, Donald Trump subpoenaed by the January 6th committee. They're saying this is the biggest climax yet in the ongoing January 6th investigation. And of course, Donald Trump, he has that June 14th birthday, the same day as the U.S. flag. Never forget how we saw through Super Bowl 52, just before Week 3 was played, thanks to Donald Trump taking on the NFL on the most perfect day, which told us it would be the Eagles and the Patriots in the big game. But anyway, from June 14th until today is 129 days later. And that's a very important number with regards to what happened supposedly on January 6th, where as time goes on, the story becomes more and more dramatic. I remember actually watching that day. It was pretty boring, pretty uneventful, until they had the contrived scene hours in. On CNN today, they're referring to it as the bloody insurrection. It's like, bloody insurrection for who? All this footage that's come out in the years since. But anyway, 129 days matters for a lot of reasons. For starters, in Gematria, Georgetown equals 129, which is the nation's first Jesuit university. And also today in the headlines, Liz Truss, they're saying she'll get $129,000 a year for the rest of her life because she was a prime minister. And again, 129 is important to the Jesuits, and the Jesuit Order's logo is above the door at 10 Downing Street, just to follow the patterns. But again, Georgetown equals 129. And again, I want everybody to look up the Transition Integrity Project, TIP. Took place June 12th, 2020. It was a simulation of the U.S. presidential election. In the simulation, Biden narrowly beats Trump. Trump says he's cheated, refuses to step down, which leads to deadly chaos in America. This was the simulation. And of course, they made it play out that way in the news because everybody went to bed the night of the election thinking Trump had won a second term. And then everyone woke up in the morning and all of a sudden in all the races Trump was winning in all these states, he'd fallen behind in every single one to Biden, including in states where Democrats never win. Or I should say, rarely ever win. And don't forget who told you all along Biden would be number 46 in the election 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. You know, we were telling you for long in advance, the rigged selections by the numbers. But yes, today, 129 days after Trump's birthday, this. And again, that number connects to Georgetown, who simulated all of this. And Georgetown, the neighborhood that boarded up days in advance, kind of setting off the tone for what was to come on January 6th. And then, of course, the number 129 is the number 201 in base 8 counting. 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. And that matters because let's rewind the tape. Let's recall that the Confederate flag flew through D.C. on January 6th, kind of like 6/1, like how the American Civil War began in 1861. But also in Gematria, the word Confederate equals 201, just like the Jesuit Order equals 201. And of course, Lincoln, the Civil War president, said there never would have been a Civil War without the sinister influence of the Jesuits. Now, with regards to 129 having the connection to 201 in base 8 counting, let's not forget that the only Confederate statue fell in D.C. June 19th, 2020, exactly 201 days before the insurrection. And why did that statue fall? Again, it fell because of what happened on Memorial Day in 2020. And of course, Memorial Day was originally to remember the fallen from the American Civil War. But what was it that happened on Memorial Day in 2020? It was the reported killing of George Perry Floyd, whose name equals 201, who was killed exactly 201 weeks after Adama Traore was in France. And Adama Traore was killed July 19th, 2016, the 201st day of the leap year. And again, 201, the number of the Jesuits, the divide and conquer gang, the order out of chaos gang. We're talking about highly divisive rituals that brought about a lot of chaos that's now bringing about all of the planned things that they want. And I mean, just look at all the crap going on in D.C. since the insurrection. More security, more walls, more police, more National Guard. Wonder why they got to fortify the federal city. Is it because they realize they're on the verge of a lot of people waking up to a lot of serious bullshit that came from the federal government that might have cost a lot of people their lives, their jobs, their families, everything they worked for, everything they knew? And again, it's sad that so many people think Trump is the bad guy or Biden's the bad guy or Trump's the good guy or Biden's the good guy. All of them are Jesuit puppets. Again, Biden sacrificed his wife and daughter in 72 in a massive 201 ritual. His latest son died 201 days before the Pope's birthday at age 46. Blah, blah, blah. Trump just had his wife fall down the stairs, and she was buried on the 201st day of the year. And if you go back and look at their first child, Donald Trump Jr., he was born on the 201st day of Trump's age, not to mention their wedding back in 77. The leader of the ceremony, his name equaled 201. And so did the building. The building Gematria equaled 201, where Donald got married to Ivana. Again, it's the same thing with all these Jesuit clowns. They're all in the club. They're all on the stage. They're all playing their part. And people are falling in line, picking. But yeah, again, you guys, I mean, 129-201. We keep talking about this, how it fits in with the insurrection, and now here's the latest. Trump subpoenaed 129 days after his birthday. And now Lindsey Graham down in the Carolinas where the Civil War began, he gets subpoenaed at the same time. Steve Bannon, who's already had a number of 201 rituals, who's also Jesuit educated like Trump. I'll have to check on Lindsey Graham's education. He might be a Jesuit himself. I'm not sure where Lindsey Graham went to school off the top of my head, but he's been in D.C. forever. But, yeah, just, you know, all this stuff so ritualistic. And then another number that I talk about all the time, the license plates behind me that says, what is 47? They want Trump to appear for the subpoena on November 14th. Oh, the day leaving 47 days left in the year. The thing going on with Liz Truss right now, who gets a free $129,000 a year for the rest of her life. Liz Truss, this happens while she's at age 47. Today, Steve Bannon sentenced to 4 months in prison, but he will appeal on the first day of the 47th week of his age. And remember what 47 is. In Hebrew, it represents the name of God in the Old Testament. And when you think God, you think authority. And of course, in English, words like authority, government, president, White House, Republican, Democrat, the letters DC, the name Trump, they're all 47. And if you're saying, well, how can all those things equal 47? Again, the base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards, the alphabetic order in reverse, and then the two orders with numerology. All of those things equal 47 in DC. White House, president, government, authority, Republican, Democrat, and again, just run the alphabetic order in reverse, the letters DC equal 47. In that same cipher, the name Trump equals 47. Who's already had a bazillion 47 rituals to date, but now they want him to show up in court on the day leaving 47 days left in the year. Again, that's why I've said over the years, if you're just going to try to wake your friends and family up, it might be easiest to just talk about 47, because they use it abusively in news stories. They'll just stick 47 in for no reason. And if you just follow it, it just comes up all the time, 47. Now UK's got new history. The 47-year-old Liz Truss with the shortest time in office. And by the way, a truss relates to a bridge. And the operation for when the Queen died was called Operation London Bridge. And her 45 days in office, the word bridge equals 45. Just like how when Steph Curry hit the three-point record here, I said, just watch. Pretty soon there'll be a falling bridge to tout Biden's infrastructure plan. And sure enough, the bridge collapsed in Pittsburgh by the numbers when Joe Biden was in town, the guy who was in D.C. for 47 years before he became president. That's why he was saying, Trump was saying, I've done more in 47 months than Biden's done in 47 years, and they were campaigning against each other. But yeah, when I called that with the bridge collapse coming, it was exactly 45 days after Steph Curry set the three-point record. Of course, Steph Curry wears the uniform with the bridge, which is the Bay Bridge that connects Oakland and San Francisco. And then the bridge collapse in Pennsylvania, where the Warriors are originally from, who won the championship in 47. From the day that Curry set the three-point record to the day that bridge collapsed was 45 days later. So that's part of the joke of Liz Truss being in office 45 days as well. Wordplay. And I mean, yeah, that's how you can just see we're being made fun of. We are being made fun of. Over here in the U.S., we got the nation's Independence Day on the 4th day of the 7th month. Of course, the word foundation also equals 47. Got the 47th problem of Euclid for the Freemasons, the builders who make things like bridges. But yeah, it's just, you know, that's why all the people who think everything's organic, like I always say, I mean, these people got their heads so far up their ass, it's a joke. There definitely is a huge part to the organic side, but Liz Truss, the death of the Queen, it's always got the mind's eye of the masses captivated. You know, I'm sure all sorts of people in the UK just can't wait to see who the next prime minister is. You know, so many people so tuned in to what's going to happen with Trump and the subpoena. Again, you guys, for all you Trumpaholics out there, rest assured he's coming back. You know, he didn't sacrifice his wife for nothing. Now they got the nice picture of the two on the staircase from the magazine cover from years ago. Now she dies falling down the stairs 45 years after their marriage. There's that number again. Ritual equals 45. But, yeah, again, I meant to say it earlier, just to make sure it's, hold on here. I got to make sure I can see. It's getting foggy in here. We got a rainy day today. It's been a while since it rained out here. We're in the non-rainy part of Washington State out here. It doesn't rain that much, but today we've got a rainy one. Yeah, again, I this morning I was talking about it, and I think I cut it short and forgot to say some key details. But again, we just had the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year. It began May 20th, 2021, the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola was shot with a cannonball and began forming the R.I.P. to Billy Cannon, who died on that day in history. But, again, from the day that began to the day that Trump's wife died, again, was exactly 60 weeks later, because the Ignatian year ran more than a full calendar year. It ran from May 20th, 2021 to the day in history Ignatius of Loyola died, July 31st, 2022. So 60 weeks into that Ignatian year, on July 14th, again, you had all three of the big news stories about Trump. The third one was his wife dying. The second one was the 72-page report by conservatives involving 60 cases against Trump. And then the first one was the Trump hinting that he would run for the next presidential election, where if you surveyed the average American, they'd have no idea what presidential election it would be, but it is the 60th upcoming. Thus, all the rituals 60 weeks into the Jesuit Ignatian year. And, again, for the Looney Tune out there that thinks that all that's organic, that she just fell down the stairs organically, and Trump's brother just died on the Jesuit order's birthday organically, and, you know, it must have been organic when Biden's wife and daughter died in 72 by the numbers right after he became senator-elect. 72, right? Now he's President Biden 72, like President Trump 72, like Liz Truss is 72, like resigns 72, like Boris is 72, like she resigns on the day leaving 72 days left in the year. And then from that, high drama in the UK, right back over here the next day, high drama in the US with Trump getting subpoenaed. The only president to try and stop the peaceful transfer of a presidency. And you guys, just all this stuff about, you know, we're above dictatorships. No, we're not. I mean, this whole country is a dictatorship. Just because you get a different puppet in every 4 years doesn't mean it's not a dictatorship. Same Jesuits run your nation. This is a Catholic dictatorship. That's why their architecture's all over the city. Their history's older there than the federal government's. And their rituals are on every last thing. They got their secret society temples there. Again, you think it's organic that the Jesuit Order's logo is above the door at 10 Downing Street? You think that's organic? You think the Jesuit oath is organic? You know? No, these are sick, nasty people. And, you know, again, Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, they're largely the same. They're considered conservatives. They're considered highly divisive. They're considered love them or hate them. Again, they got similar haircuts. They both studied in New York. The Empire States, you know. It's, the show is obvious. And when you know what we know in this community, it's even more obvious. It's a million times more obvious. So, and you know what else is funny about Trump and Boris? They have almost the same birthday. Trump's birthday is June 14th, and Boris Johnson's birthday is June 19th. That's now the day that's Juneteenth in the U.S. And remember, the only Confederate statue in D.C. fell on Juneteenth, a year to the day of them turning it into a national holiday. On an unrelated note, what's with people who drive slower than the traffic in the right lane and the left lane? Who are these people? God. If it's too rainy today to drive the speed limit in the left lane, let's get over on the right side. I remember when I lived in Arizona, anytime it rained, you should have seen the way the people drive down there. It's like they thought their tires didn't work in the rain. You would have thought everybody was driving on a sheet of ice. It's like, okay, you guys, your car does work in the rain. Trust me, I'm from Washington. But, okay, they're speeding up here. Something came back. Okay, and also shout out to Kayla Decode Talker. This morning I was talking about how the one of the other big stories in the country is this RPV, respiratory illness, that's impacting a lot of children, unprecedented. Doctors don't know where it's come from, why it's so widespread. But anyway, Kayla took the time to decode what the full name of RPV is. The full name, the medical name for RPV, it adds up. Not the letters RPV, but the actual name, whatever, I forget what it's called again. RPF, maybe it's whatever it is. Whatever they're talking about today. The full name of that illness adds up to 294. And here we are on the 294th day of the year, and that's one of the top news stories today. You know? And again, that's what I mean, every day, just news manufactured by the numbers. This morning I was talking about how the first story CNN did today on that was from a Yale doctor, probably is in Skull and Bones. Yale Skull and Bones has a lot to do with, shout out to Kush Manu, chipped in $5 on the Cash App. I see it, I appreciate it. Thank you, Kush. But, by the way, I'm going to do a Q&A tonight because I got to wait in the parking lot for Sweet Lady. So when I get to pick up Sweet Lady, I'll stop this stream, I'll take a little break, and I'll do another one of those Q&As. If you guys want to come back for that. If you already had enough of this stream, you can tune out and come back for the Q&A. You guys seem to like that one more. But, yeah, Kayla with another great find. Today's illness that they're focused on has the exact gematria that corresponds with the 294th day of the year. But anyway, like I was saying this morning, they had on this doctor from Yale to talk about it. And then a little bit later, they have a doctor on, I forget what her first name is. Oh, it was Charlotte. Charlotte Boney was on to talk about the illness later in the day. And I was like, Charlotte Boney, really? Like Yale? They didn't say what school she went to, so I'm not sure where Charlotte Boney went to school. But I was like, that also reminds me of Skull and Bones. And then what's perfect is Charlotte Boney equals 71. Well, today is the 294th day of the year, meaning it's the day leaving 71 days left in the year. So what a day to have Charlotte Boney on to talk about the 294 illness. And again, monkeypox by the numbers, coronavirus by the numbers, whatever this latest thing is by the numbers, a million things by the numbers. So I've been documenting every single day for over 9 years. And, yeah, I'm just wondering when the English-speaking of the people of the world who have an internet connection, they're going to find the information. They're not just going to find it, but they're going to be like, I need to look more into this. It should be making a lot of sense to everybody. Again, for the new person who's here saying, why would they do this? Again, Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the answer. Kabbalah's Book of Formation, opening page. God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. Secret societies are very much into the occult traditions like Kabbalah. That's why on the Masonic temple, it's etched all is number. All is number. Think about it. Think about it. Hey, Kushmanu, what are you doing? Kushmanu will be recognized with his chat. Not only did he just send a $5 Cash App, now he sent a $5 Super Chat. All right, Kush, you hit your quota for the year. Thank you, I appreciate it. By the way, this new channel I'm on, GematriaEffectNews 25, the algorithm must be getting tougher and tougher because I cannot grow this channel for anything. You know, I just had GematriaEffectNews 24 finally growing really well, and we were getting back up to 1,000 people on the TFR live stream, and which isn't great because years ago we used to have, you know, 2,500 people on the TFR live stream. But with each deletion, it's harder and harder to get the audience back. But man, I am having trouble getting the numbers back up on this channel. Thank you to everyone who does make the effort each time to find the channel, to subscribe, to like. I do appreciate the effort. And yeah, before long, we will also get back to doing the more normal videos where I have, you know, the screen presentation with the information. But right now, in the driving back and forth and showing the house and packing up, and almost done moving days. A few more of these, but we will get back to normal. And I did upgrade my phone line, so I got a hotspot, so should be able to do a decent stream through a laptop here in the near future, like as soon as this weekend. But yeah, I guess those were the big thoughts about Trump's subpoena and Steve Bannon, and again, I mean, you guys, that's how perfect it is, right? Steve Bannon and Trump in the same day. Two Jesuit educated men. Again, Trump at Fordham, Bannon at Georgetown. Georgetown 129. Today's 129 days after Trump's birthday. Bannon's going to prison, so they say, and Trump's subpoena. And if I remember right, was it, I think, I didn't read past the Steve Bannon headline. I already covered enough of Steve Bannon by the numbers. But if I remember right, what Steve Bannon's in trouble for is for ignoring the subpoena, right? So how convenient that these things just happen on the same day. And that's why it should be so obvious to everyone that it's all theater. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys' generosity. Helps out here with gas prices on the West Coast. Our gas did drop 30 cents overnight. I guess a lot of people's did because they unleashed more of the Federal Reserves. But it's still about $5 a gallon out here. This guy's confusing me with this driving. This person must not be able to see. They're driving in both lanes. Sorry, just keeping an eye on the crazy driver who just got ahead of me and then's like now right in front of me in both lanes going the same speed. Hey, just word of advice for all the young drivers out there. If it's ever been, if it's the first rain after a long time of no rain, be careful on those days because the roads are a little more slick. If you have to stop, you won't stop as fast. And the reason that happens is because all the dry days that cars are going over the pavement, you know, all the exhaust is coming out. Shout out to Frank the Truth Tank. You definitely didn't have to do that, Frank. Looking forward to the next Truth Seeker gathering with Frank the Truth Tank. But again, just a little knowledge here for all the young drivers. Again, when it doesn't rain for a long time, all the cars traveling over the road, they're putting down that exhaust. It creates a layer, like a barrier of oil. And then when the water comes, it makes like a slick. I mean, it's not like it's super slick, but if you have to stop in a pinch, you're not going to stop as fast. You're going to slide a little bit further. The water has to come down and rinse the road clean. So, day like today is always better to have a little more safety distance from the vehicles you're behind, just in case. So anyway, yeah, I am getting close to my destination here, Truth Seeker. Like I said, got to pick up Sweet Lady. She's got a second job she's got to go to, and I got to wait for like an hour and a half in the parking lot. So we'll do one of those Q&A sessions while I'm waiting. And my maintenance required light just came on. I had to get an oil change on that last road trip when I went out to New York. I actually got it in New York before I head back. Remember, my tire blew out the last night I was there because of the crazy rain. We went through the rain was so bad it lifted the manhole in the street, but you couldn't see the manhole was off because the water was covering it. So I drove over the manhole, blew out the tire. Ended up sleeping that night at the car shop. Got the tire repaired in the morning. Oil change because I needed it. And anyway, every 5,000 miles, the car light will come on for the oil change. But it just came on right now. And it's thinking, man, I already drove another 5,000 miles. Hey, shout out to Disambiguation, Nathan. It's funny, I was just thinking about you, Nathan. I was actually just thinking about you in my mind as I brought up New York. I was thinking, I don't feel like I haven't heard from Disambiguation as much lately. You must be busy right now. But good to see you, Nathan. You must have read my mind somehow. I appreciate the generosity. But yeah, already time for another oil change. So. Woo! Sunnyside, man. If you ever come to Sunnyside, Washington, bring your nose plug. Woo! Stinks out here. It's because it's the land of cows. But yeah. Anyway, instead of telling you guys about stinky cows, I'll wrap this up for now. It's 5:15. Sweet lady will pop out of her workplace in 15 minutes. I got to drive her about 10 minutes down the street, and then yeah, probably another live stream 20-25 minutes from now. So. Thank you to all the generous people. I appreciate the super chats, and again, appreciate everyone who hits the like and the share. And again, if you guys are new here, be sure to go back and subscribe to the other channels too. And if you missed what we just did when we drove across the country and met up with all the truth seekers across the nation, and what we did in New York for the 9/11 weekend, go back and check that out. And hopefully, it inspires you and it makes you want to do something like that in your city on the anniversary of something big that happened that needs light brought to it. So many big events across this world where all people know is the big lie that was told about it for the sake of the ongoing agenda. But yeah, Gematria Effect News 24, Gematria Effect News 23, Gematria Effect News 22, Gematria Effect Sport. Those are all the other channels, and I could be posting on any of them as soon as tomorrow. It's only a matter of time until this channel gets suspended again, because I can never go too long without a suspension. And again, I'm always amazed at how people are like, Zach, how come you're not posting anything? And I'm just like, when are these people going to learn? Dude, I mean, 2017, the channel got deleted for the first time. I've been making new channels ever since. Anyway, but yeah, make sure you guys keep up with those channels. You can try to turn on the notification bell, but you probably still won't get notifications anyway. Sometimes you just got to visit the channel. Or also, if you have a favorite channel that you're not getting notifications for, the best way to see if they have new content is just write out their channel name in the YouTube search, and in the filters, click sort by date, because then it will automatically sort it by the newest, and then that way you can see what your favorite channels posted. And then you might also, because a lot of people have backup channels, because a lot of people are dealing with the same things. Constant suspensions, juggling channels. So again, you might even, maybe you didn't even know your favorite channel had a backup channel, but just doing that sort by date, you might find, like, you know, their backup channel. And if Yeah Right the Matrix is out there, I hope all is well with Yeah Right the Matrix. Normally he is busy with the content, but he's taken a little break in recent days. And by the way, one more thing I just want to say. I see a lot of people just saying in their stream just like how they're feeling gloomy and they're down. Again, you guys, that's a seasonal thing, right? The time of year comes around, shorter days, less vitamin D, more darkness. You know, people start having cold symptoms normally this time of year, all sorts of things to get gloomy over. But yeah, just try to be aware of the seasons and how it might affect your mood, because if you're anticipating it, it won't hit you as much. Like, I get the same way this time of year, especially up here, because the nice thing about being in this part of the country, again, the further north you go, the longer the days are in the summer months, but then also the further the north you go in the winter, fall months, the shorter the days are. So it ends up evening out over the course of the year. But again, but by the time we're into winter, it is long days of darkness around here, and that can be gloomy. So we will leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Yeah, again, make sure you're supporting everyone in the community. Kayla Decode Talker. You know, everybody. Chigozi Truth, he hasn't been as busy lately, but he's mostly still doing the bike streams. You know, Frank the Truth Tank, Math Tucon, King Richard TV, Gematrinator 85, Simple Truth TV, Mr. Futures. Rod, if you're out there, I think something Rod should start doing is start making public videos. All of his videos are unlisted on his Patreon, and he's doing just fine with that method, so maybe he's going to keep it that way, but it'd be nice if he did a public video every now and then. He'd get some more exposure. And all the other people I'm forgetting. Dan Barrett, Zenith of the Alpha. I always feel bad whenever I do this because I always forget 5 people that I should have said. Of course, Eric 777 doesn't really do Gematria, but very, very, very great researcher, Eric 777. Yeah, I know I'm forgetting other people right now. Everybody doing the good work. Try to support him, you guys. I'm trying to think of a guy's channel name right now. He does quiet videos that are well done. Oh, of course, get Rambo's channel, The Truth Codes. He's got a new video out today. The Truth Codes. Honestly, if I had to rank somebody's channel number 1 right now in the Gematria community in terms of just like video quality, I got to give the title to Rambo right now. He's the Gematria YouTuber of the year. And again, that's no put down to anyone else. Everyone else is doing great work too. It's just Rambo's doing a really fine job. Man, I wish I could think of the other guy's channel name right now. Bally Go Backwards, of course. He does great work on sports. Man, I cannot think of his channel. Shoot. D26, of course, D26 creates. Yes, of course, D26 creates. Thank you. But I'm not thinking of the channel that I want to think of right now. Every decode he does, it's like Gematria Fact, and then he numbers it. So if you do a web search for like Gematria Fact 55, Gematria Fact 56, Gematria Fact, F-A-C-T, Gematria Fact 58, he does them in order. And, but I can't think of his channel name right now. His channel name is real generic. So, okay, let me look at that. J. Will Facts. Thank you, Charmed One. She's got it. That's it. J. Will Facts. Which reminds me, Jay with Open Eyes. I think he's on channel 4 right now. He's not doing as much Gematria, but for all the young people in the community, they might identify with Jay with Open Eyes. He makes music as well. And he hasn't been doing Gematria as much lately because he's just gotten tired of all the trolling. Of course, if you cover Gematria, there will be trolls. All right, Auntie says people started posting other channel names in the chat. So, Decoding with Cody, yeah. Decoding with Cody's doing a lot of speculating. And oh yeah, of course, Lincoln Karam. Yeah, let's do Lincoln Karam. He doesn't really do Gematria, but again, he came out to New York and saved the day. Oh, Call Me Kinfolk. Yeah, Call Me Kinfolk's doing it. Call Me Kinfolk's racking up the haters. There's people that really don't like Call Me Kinfolk's decodes because he's using Gematria to prove that people are cloned, which, yeah, you really can't do. Of course, JHW3D, Jeremy White, JHW3D. Yeah, Richard Quinn. You can subscribe to Richard Quinn's channel. Yeah, people are making the argument that Kinfolk makes Gematria look bad. You know, I definitely said Simple Truth TV. Gnostic Knowledge, yeah, that's Vanessa's channel. You guys, if you ever wanted an ebook version of my books, the closest thing is subscribing to Gnostic Knowledge because Vanessa read cover to cover both my books in order, and you can just go through and listen. Yeah, I definitely said King Richard TV. He's doing a lot of work lately. Callie Mott, it went away too fast. I don't know that channel, but yeah, check him out. If somebody in the chat says check him out, check him out. RPM Trey, of course. RPM Trey Vietnam. Yeah, how can we forget RPM Trey Vietnam? I don't think there's anybody out there working harder right now than to promote Gematria and giving me a lot of credit. So sorry it didn't come to me sooner, RPM Trey. Down the rabbit hole with Tennessee Lee. Came out to Oklahoma. We know Tennessee Lee. He's got a channel. Yeah, I definitely said Eric 777. Cuts1. Yeah, Cuts1 was out there with us in New York City. Kutsone, all one word. Marco Power. Yeah, Marco Power. I haven't seen Marco as much lately. Jeff Young's got a music channel. He's got a decoding channel. By the way, Jeff Young's band now has a YouTube channel. Kings of Thrash. If you want to check out their YouTube channel, they're working on their first song as a group. Charmed One's doing a good job of linking everybody in the chat. Shout out to Charmed One, the moderator of moderators. Yeah, of course, Rambo's channel, The Truth Codes. Yes, Math2 Con, who's advertising a lot and doing good work. There are some other channels that their names are harder to remember. I have not heard from Young Ben for a minute. His sweet lady got mad at me, so I think maybe his sweet lady being mad at me is connected to why we haven't heard from Ben for a while. But it's kind of funny to think about because they found each other through this work, and then she got mad at me, and then I haven't heard from Ben. But it's okay. You know, if Ben's happy, I'm happy. It would be nice if Ben came back, though. He is one of the great all-time researchers in this community. Exit Time. I don't know that channel. Exit Time. The guy, you know, probably about 2 months ago, I uploaded the guy's video where he went back in Gremlins and showed all the 911 encoded in Gremlins. I can't think of that guy's channel right now. It's got Roman numerals in it. Kushmanu's got Truth Seeker Music. He's one of the Truth Seeker musicians. So Kushmanu's got a channel. But yeah, I wish I could think of the channel right now that made that video, because his videos are awesome. He's a really, really good video maker. There's Kayla Decode Talker. Make sure you're subscribed to Kayla Decode Talker. Again, she nailed it today with why that virus news was in there. 208 Productions, absolutely. Neo the Hacker, yeah, subscribe to Neo the Hacker and tell him to start making videos again. We miss Neo the Hacker. Yeah, Mark Passio, his work's important, but he's all talk. He's the biggest talker of all time, Mark Passio. I give him the fakest of the fakest award. But his work is good. His work's good, he's just a big phony and fraud. So, shout out to Elkin. Chipped in $5 on PayPal. I appreciate it. Truth does not exist. Of course, how do I forget truth does not exist? Jeff Young's texting right now. Truth does not exist. He's our young guy in the community. Amy to Crack Their Code. I don't think she has a YouTube channel yet, but she has a great blog. Cracktheircode.org. Cracktheircode.org. Jolka has the right Roman numerals for the channel I'm thinking of. There. Eminique, that name that Eminique just wrote in the chat, LXXX, that channel, copy and paste that and find that guy's channel. You want to be subscribed. Anytime he releases a video, it's awesome. He's the guy who did the recent one on the Gremlins. Yeah, indeed. Frank the Truth Tank. Yeah, he's putting out more content. So, all right. We'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. Yeah, Zenith of the Alpha, I definitely recommended him. Numbers Don't Lie. I don't know that channel with that spelling, but all right, Numbers Don't Lie with that spelling, a little complicated. Rob Antico has a channel. Subscribe to Rob Antico. He's got some coverage from New York 9/11. Charm One's got the link for the guy with the awesome video editing skills. If you go to the channel that Charmed One just uploaded, go back. He posted it over a year ago, but find his video on the BBC with the 9/11 predictive programming from decades in advance, it will blow your mind. No exaggeration. You will be so happy that you took the time to dig through his channel to find the video I'm talking about. Just scroll through his channel. You'll see it. It'll be like BBC, 9/11. You'll know it when you find it. It's amazing. It just goes to show how long all this stuff was planned out. A long, long time ago. And they've been putting the little clues in front of our face. Like a countdown. Yeah, BBC does have the 223, the 74. If you spell out the full name of it, it's 201. Of course, yeah, Chigozie Truth, absolutely. I feel like some of the veterans in the community are wearing down, though. They don't have the output they used to. Yeah, the news benders. There's a name. Yeah, Lamba115. Very interesting decoder. Pretty much all of his videos are silent, but he'll make some really great observations. Him and Zenith of the Alpha kind of work together these days. Scroll up for the person asking for the BBC channel. Charmed One just linked it. She just linked it again. Charmed One just linked the channel again. LXXXVIII Venus Temporis. All right, we'll leave it there for now, True Seeker. I think Sweet Lady's coming.